This is Wicked Slink, back with some more chess.com. This is the new and improved post-surgery Slink. I had full hip replacement on my left hip on Tuesday. It is now Sunday, and I am walking around without a limp and walking better than I was before surgery. Still have a couple months of rehab to go, but for everyday life, doing great. Well, let's see if I can recover from the incredible beating I took last game, and turn this around, and hopefully this will not be a losing streak. So we'll search down an opponent. I seem to be getting lots of opponents in Europe. Oh, Bangladesh. So we're Asia now. So, all right. Well, a D4, maybe accelerated London. No, there will be no accelerated London, and I don't even know what to do with this. So, Gambit. Okay. I am going to. I could have some fun with this. Let's have some fun with this. No, I'm not. I'm just going to develop. Okay. All right, but how am I going to develop? That's the question. All right. Yeah, sure. Here we go. Overprotect. I know he wants to get like some attack going. Oh, that could be nasty. That could be nasty. All right. That could be nasty. I'm going to develop and see what he's got. Okay, he's forcing the issue. So all right, I'll take the pawn. Keep the pawn. 7 on 6. Sure. Yep. I don't mind trading queens. Okay, isolated pawn. Dang. Just castle kingside? Sure. Knight queenside? Sure. Okay. So I'm pawn up. Even material. He has an isolated pawn. I have to be careful. Yeah. And he may pin my knight. I don't care. All right. I'll take a second pawn. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. So I think I got paranoid when I took that severe beating, that severe beatdown that I had. All right, develop, and then rook to D1, rook H D1. Unless he, yeah. See, that's not going to help. What you going to do? Interesting. Well, okay. What you going to do? I mean, I'm just going to trade down. I don't know where your knight's going. Um, sure. Rook on the 7th. Yeah, sure. All right. I do have to be careful now, but because he's got knight b4, which could put that one pawn in danger. Um, um, if I push, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this one and prevent his knight from coming into b4. Take a timeout because I'm ahead on development. I have the better position and the material advantage, so I can afford to take. Yeah, that's fine. Um, all right. Yeah, okay. I guess I do need to be careful, but um, I can take. That's fine. Um, and I have several ways to go. I can let him advance his knight in, or I can just drop back and cover the pawn and slow his. Well, no, he can't bring his knight in because my rook's covering the thing. Um, Although I can't actually take his knight, but um, I can do this. And yeah, his knight's not hanging, but I was afraid of him bringing it into D3 and then F2, but my rook's covering that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm fine. Yeah, he's got nothing. Where's his knight going? I'm connecting mine, and I'm taking over the 7th rank. So, does that get you anything? I don't think so. I could just take the passed pawn. Let's just grab the passed pawn. Okay, so I'm thinking rook, rook 1d6. Oh, that's fine. I'll trade down. Let's see. Interesting. Should I play defense or offense? Um, let's see. If I let it go, that'd be 4 and 5, and then I can grab this, but then his rook comes in. Okay. So, I could just get behind it, but I don't want to do that. Okay. All right, let's come up with the plan. How do I want to win this game? Um, hmm. Well, my pawn, my rook on the 7th isn't doing anything right now. So, um, I'll continue to control the open file, and I will protect the pawn from the side and maybe surround his knight. Sure. All right, what you got? All right, I'll rely on tactics right now since, I was over strategizing and I allowed him back in tactically. I was playing like general principle moves, which were good, but it kind of got me in a little trouble. So now I am going to threaten his pawn and then connect my rooks. Or I could even surround his knight. So let's try this, see what we get here. That's fine. And Yeah, that didn't work out the way that I thought it would. Okay. Well, it's almost like if he takes mine, I take his. He takes. Knight takes, knight takes. There. Okay. All right. I think I played around too much. Now what? All right. My rook looks stupid. So, unfortunately, he's not doing much on the 7th. This one, but this one's not doing much at all either. If I bring the D rook back to, he's got a nice fork on my rooks, and that would be quite humiliating. So I can't even protect this pawn well. Okay, so I'm going to lose the pawn. What's the best way to lose it? That is the question. I think I keep my pieces. I improve my king. No, that doesn't work either. I may need to bring my king into the center. That's it. The king is an attacking piece, right? So, all right. So I'm going to play here to keep his infiltration after he wins the pawn. I won't allow his king. I won't allow his rook to infiltrate on the e file because I control the d file. So I lose the pawn. That's fine. And then I grab the 7th. All right. Okay. We'll shift this way. And then I will block here. All right. Yeah. Yes, it's not going to work out well for you. Not at all. Let's see. I will. Okay, I am just going to. I'm going to protect this. I'm going to get my king among my king's pawns, and sure. Here. Um, Here. Oh, I see what's happening. But that doesn't work. Um, Here. No. Um, Here. All right. I'm just going to have a majority on both sides. See, now he's realized. Bring my king forward. Oh, perfect. All right. What you gonna do, pal? Work's gotta go somewhere. I'm bringing my pawn up. If you go behind it, my pawns, I'll go in front of them. I know I haven't played this very efficiently, but you know, two pawns is a winning advantage. So, in a sense, right now I'm playing not to make mistakes. So, I've kept this king on the back rank, even though I'm not actually threatening his pawns. Yeah, what's that going to do? That's not going to get you anything. Um, Still got nothing. All right. Yeah, I better not walk into a mating net. Let's see where you go. This ought to be interesting. Where's your rook going? Oh, dang. Sure. It's like, okay. Wait, you thought I was going to mouse slip or something? I guess I could technically pre-move Rook D6, King E6, and then C pawn like down, 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 down. You know, all the way. Well, I couldn't because he has his other pawns, but I mean, yeah, dude, resign. But I mean, technically, if he doesn't come up on the second rank next turn, I'm going back to the second rank, and then I'm just going to mate him with my king. So, you know, oh, dude, you're gonna actually sit this out. This um. I wonder if he knows I'm recording. I doubt he does because, you know, my channel is, I've, I think 3 subscribers. I think I got another one today. So, you know. Well, you know, I felt like, you know, my ego got inflated by all those wins in a row. Like since I went to 15-10, it was just win, 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 win with lots of time left on the clock. I was like in this big head. And then so I'm glad I got humiliated the last game. And it wasn't just that I lost, I got humiliated in that game. And, you know, I played like the Patzer. So, you know, that was good because it's like, okay, I need to play my game. And this guy took it out of the book real early, but, you know, it's like, okay, you know, I'm not going to play your Gambit garbage. You know, it's like I'm going to develop, and you know, he let me keep the Gambit pawn, you know, because it's just like, uh, um, you know, he wanted me to keep taking and develop his pieces. It's like, no, I'm going to develop my pieces. I'm going to make you take me and get the material back, and he wouldn't do it. And then it allowed me to grab more material because he wasn't willing to take his material back. So, all right. Well, you know, if you're watching this video, probably skip ahead. I'll make sure in the description, I'll put a jump. I'll put a jump in there to like, you know, the 12-minute time wasting of the guy who's he's hoping that I'll just resign out of not wanting to wait 10 minutes for the game to be lost. You know, it's just like, you know, I'll put that in the description so that you can at least skip it. You know, because it's like you know, this channel, this is it is a channel. You know, I'm posting my games. I hope that these are valuable to you. I mean, at least, you know, I get 15 to 20 people watching my chess videos. I get, you know, three watching my Heaven Burns Red, you know, storyline. So, you know, at least there's 20 people out there who are willing to look at my video and even if they don't leave a like, you know, which I don't care, I'm not monetized. You know, I'm a computer programmer, you know, who works 40-hour weeks, you know, with children and grandchildren and a bionic hip, you know. so you know, who just likes gaming and just wants to share videos, and if you find them of use, yeah, a like would be good. You know, it's like, but I'm not editing these videos. I'm using the built-in Microsoft Recorder, and you know, I mean, it's just like whatever I get, and if there's noise, I don't know where the noise comes from. You know, it's like, I'll apologize for it in the description and say, well, sorry, but, um, anyway, um, uh, I'm not going to advertise a medical company because that's not the purpose of this channel. But the people who did my hip operation, I mean, all the it's just amazing how much pre-op training you had to do, and it was so over the top preparation, and I was just there like, this is ridiculous. Who needs like to see this video 6 times on this or this or this? But um, on the day of the surgery, it's like you knew everything. You knew what your rehab was going to be. They're in-home rehab because their recovery time for this company is #1 in the country from these surgeries, and they said we found that people who rehab in-home rehab faster than those who go in for rehab. And it's just like, and the exercises are simple. They're so simple. And it's just do this, do this, do this. They're like, people who drug themselves up on Oxy, they recover slower. So we just give you a bunch of Tylenol and aspirin, Tylenol, and ibuprofen, and a few other drugs, all non-narcotic. And it's just like, we give you the narcotic. If your pain becomes terrible, then take this. But, other than that, I haven't taken any Oxy since the surgery. Um, I'm what, uh, I am drugged up on extra strength Tylenol and ibuprofen right now. But my pain level is lower. I'm not limping. I'm not walking in pain. I'm walking like a normal gait, a steady gait. People at church said, your gait is so smooth. I'm holding my cane in my hand. I'm not even putting it on the ground because it's like, I don't need this thing to walk. I mean, I have it there for balance so that I don't fall. But um, I'm walking under the power of my 2 legs, and it's awesome. Pain is very low. Um, and all the prep work that I had to do in advance of the operation was so worth it, so worth it. Um, so anyway, yeah. What else to talk about? I do play Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering. I have a former work buddy who got downsized. Um, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, or you know, so um, who we play on my lunch breaks. But we pretty much just do dailies, so I haven't been posting those videos um, because he plays all the same. He's a control mage. He plays blue. It's like he plays blue white, or he plays blue black, or he plays blue black white control, and it's just like every deck is like that. I'm there, sir. Like, so we basically get together and we do our dailies talking over Discord. So we have decks designed just to grind out our dailies in Magic because we're both agreed to be free to play. We're not going to spend money on this game and get into the cost escalation, price war, and so forth. Um, you know, and I like all kinds of decks. I mean, but I really like value decks, probably more than anything. Uh, he's the ultimate blue mage. I'm the ultimate black mage. I'm just there. I like life gain. I like value. I like killing things and bringing them back throwing them in the graveyard and bringing them back. Um, and uh, he just like he's the destroyer. I like to build. He likes to destroy. So so um, and so the battle between the two of us is always can I outvalue him, which is hard to do with all the draw, because he plays Drago. I mean, he's basically, and he puts down a bunch of man lands, and he puts down um, the the lands that destroy the other lands. Uh, so that I can't have man lands, but he can. So that's his thing, and it's like, I'm just going to destroy anything you put down, and then I'm going to kill you with a man land. At the end, they're like, it's just like, every deck's the same except it's got a different win condition. It's just destroy everything and then put something down and win in the end. So that's what he does. So those games would get really boring really fast if I posted any of those games on. So he does have like some real decks. Like he has a Moonshadow deck, and he has a kind of like a bad version of a fast red deck, and a few other decks, but it's mostly control. Whereas as I do everything. I do combo. I do jank. I do value. I do white life gain angels, and then I do I'll do mill, and I'll do anything that's a win condition. I'll do, but my love is the value decks. Is just the decks that just keep going and going. Where it's just 2 for 1s. You get something and it produces 2 creatures instead of 1, or it produces um, brings stuff back from the graveyard, or whatever. When it dies, it leaves behind a little 1/1 spirit token with flying or something like that. I love the Death by 1,000 Cuts, Orzhov um, type of decks where it's like, whenever you play a creature, um, I mean, literally, did he disconnect? I don't know what happened, but now is he going to wait till it gets down to like a second and then gain 10? Timeout. Admiring all your great moves. All right, Hikaru. So yeah, so those of you who actually sat through that 12 minutes of hell got to listen to me talk about Magic the Gathering of all things. You're probably bored out of your mind, but I got to talk about my surgery too, so I guess that was good. All right, well, one blunder, yeah, when you just like left a rook there hanging, that was a blunder. All right, game review. Let's see what Hikaru has to say. All right.
You had a nice tactical find in this game. Let's review.
All right. 85, much better than the 70 something that I had. My average is, I think my average is low 80s. So, but let's see how I did. 18 best, 15 excellent, 4 good. All right. So, I had a blunder. Oh, we'll have to see that one. Game rating 1900. Wow. His was 1600? I don't think so. Um, I had a blunder. Interesting. We'll have to see what that was, because whatever it was, there might have been like some fork on the rook where he could check me and I couldn't take with the pawn because the um, the it was protecting my king from the rook. But let's see. Let's start the review.
Oh, very nice. D4 is great. You're fighting for the center. Let's see your positional sauce. Okay. The Englund Gambit. They're trying for some fun tricks. Let's go. Okay. You took the Gambit. Grabbing those squares is pretty good for you. Their bishop comes into play, supporting the center. You are bringing your knight into play, eyeing the central squares. This pawn push confronts your center and changes the structure. Develops the bishop and supports the center.
Okay, so that's the best. So that was good. I intuitively
They played one of the best moves in the position.
All right, because he is planning on confronting my bishop. So
this move activates your knight to strengthen control over the center.
Excellent. Okay.
They bring out their knight, increasing their control over the center.
All right.
That was a fair trade.
And that was another best move, because I said I can trade down because I'm ahead. So I'm ahead in development and I'm ahead in material.
Takes back.
So
you exchange pieces of equal value.
Yeah.
You are now able to force an isolated pawn. Their best option.
Yep.
You are forcing your opponent
Which
to
I
isolate
did.
a pawn.
Yeah.
A straightforward recapture.
All right.
Castling queenside can lead to sharper positions.
It's best. Yep. Since I had the advantage in development and material, so yeah, it's already got me a piece up.
Your opponent prepares to castle kingside and secure their king.
Wow, the rating went up to 3.8. That was like dropping a pawn.
This prepares your bishop for development.
Okay.
They've chosen to castle on the opposite side, likely aiming for a more double-edged game. That pawn was yours for the taking.
Yeah.
I like their choice.
I'll keep my knight out and possibly attack with his queenside minority.
Developing the bishop and increasing influence in the center. Either pawn attacks your bishop, kicking it out of its current. You calmly step the bishop out of trouble.
Yep.
They exchange pieces of... You recaptured the piece. They move the knight to safety. You attack a rook, winning a tempo when it moves away. The rook slips away as white. That was a fair trade. A clear recapture.
I probably should have just taken the pawn here.
Putting your rook on the 7th rank is a great strategy. The knight slips away as white avoids material. Nice choice.
All right, that's excellent. Yeah.
They found a top move in this position. Your opponent will have to keep an eye on that passed pawn. Recaptures. Good awareness keeps the pawn alive here. They played one of the best moves in the position. Doubled rooks on an open file is a great strategy. This central challenge forces you to react in the middle. You calmly step the pawn out of trouble.
All right. I thought that was better than the capture, so.
This move builds more pressure on your pawn and creates a threat. This adds protection to your threatened pawn. This move forces your rook to retreat, giving your opponent extra tempo. Good awareness keeps the rook alive here. The pawn slips away as white avoids material loss. Your best move was to take an outpost with a knight.
Oh, I see. Okay, that was good. Good to know.
They are threatening to win material through a fork.
Oh, shoot. I did step into the fork. He could have won my rook outright. After, after, well, king d2, no. He no, oh, because he would be forking the two rooks. So he would win the exchange, not a rook. I see. The threat is knight b8, forking my two rooks. Because I was so worried about my rook and my king. Alright, so this was my blunder, and he would have won the exchange back.
You allowed the opponent to win material through a fork.
Now, what I would have done is I would have brought probably this rook, the A rook, to A7, rook A7, and then when he takes my D rook, I would recapture with the A rook, and so I would have lost the exchange, but I still would have been 2 pawns up. So I'd had, you know, fighting chances.
They missed a chance to win material through a fork.
Yeah.
You recaptured the piece. A straightforward recapture. Your rooks become pigs ready to eat everything on the 7th.
That's right.
They missed the best line there, but it is not a mistake.
All right.
You won a pawn for free.
Yep. And I can win a second with whatever, but you know, I had to guard against his rooks coming in. So
Decent move, but they had a better one. They really did.
yeah, he should have doubled up. So
you step your king away from the checking rook.
all right.
Placing the rook on an open. Your better option was to evade the check from the opposing rook.
Yeah, but I have a 1 game. So let me win it my way. You know, even if it's not the best.
What a move from your opponent. A logical capture. You are now able to attack the rook with a pawn.
Oh, okay. So he wanted me to advance this pawn. But I had a different plan. All right.
Fine move, fine move.
I just wanted to consolidate my
I like
edge.
their choice. One of the best moves available.
All right.
They found a top move in this position. Not bad, but you had a better option.
All right. So he wanted me to bring. Okay, I see. Bring this up. He wanted me to go b2, b3, and then to follow it by c3 to c4. All right, got it. All right.
That is playable. Excellent move, well done.
All right.
That is not a mistake, but they definitely did not find the best move here.
Okay.
Nice move, well done. This is a fair trade. A clear recapture. They played one of the best moves in the position.
He didn't have a lot of good
Excellent
moves.
choice, my friend.
Yep.
Your opponent moves their rook to escape your attack. Nice job creating that passed pawn.
Yep.
Decent move by them, but they definitely had a better one.
Oh, he could have forced. If he had checked, I'd have been forced backwards rather than forwards. So yeah, I got it. And then that would have wasted some time because my king would have had to circle around behind this pawn and then come up here. So, I mean, it just would have been slow.
That's the best move. Good job.
Right, because this rook is like, where is he going? Now, here's the thing. It's like, they label this rook b6 a mistake, and they mine where I gave up in exchange as a blunder, but this is like a mistake. That's just
The rook is left hanging, letting you grab it immediately.
right.
That rook was yours for the taking.
That rook was yours from the taking. Okay, well, I guess that's a slight redemption from my last game. Didn't really learn anything from this one though. So I guess I learned. Well, I did potentially let him in the game when I was concerned about my king, a king and rook fork, but I was never concerned about a rook and rook fork with the knight. So I did learn that. So, anyways, that's a game. This is a long recording, but you can skip 12 minutes of it. I'll put it in the description. Thank you for watching. This is Wicked Slink signing off.